Friends, in this section of the export and import learning, we shall study the changes between UCP 600 from UCP 500. We welcome you to this project of learning export and import trade. Enjoy learning. Thanks. UCP is the common reference to the Uniform Customs and Practice for documentary credits. The objective of UCP is to create a set of contractual rules that would establish uniformity to conflicting national regulations. The UCP 600 has come into effect from July 1st, 2007 onwards, and UCP 600 has a number of substantial changes that affect not only how banks will determine the compliance but also how contracts for sales utilizing letter of credits should be written. Some of the new articles in UCP 600 have adopted practices in International Standard Banking Practices (ISBP) and followed principles of International Standby Practices ISP 98. Besides providing new articles in examination, documentation, and other aspects for issuing the letter of credits for banks involved in foreign exchange. The Uniform Customs and Practices (UCP) for documentary credits were first issued in 1933 by the International Chamber of Commerce. The purpose was to overcome the conflicting national laws on letters of credit as well as to bring about uniformity in banking practices. The rules have been revised a number of times. The recent revision UCP 600 took more than 3 years of consultation, and the consultant group, which comprise more than 40 representatives from 26 countries, proposed changes to the various drafts. During its 24-25 October 2006 meeting, the ICC Commission on Banking Technique and Practice approved new UCP 600 rules for documentary credits. Now we see the structure of UCP 600. The UCP 600 is not divided into the same 7 sections as the UCP 500, which were lettered A to J and headed in turn: general provisions and definitions, form and notifications of credits, liabilities and responsibilities, documents, miscellaneous provisions, transferable credit, and finally the assignment of proceeds UCP 500. Despite the fact that the UCP 600 does not expressly follow this allocation of articles by subject matter, it is still possible to divide the articles up as follows: General Provisions and Definitions, Article 1st to 3rd; Form and Notification of Credits, Article 9th to 11th; Liabilities and Responsibilities, Article 4 to 8 and 14 to 16; Nominated Banks, Article 12-13; Documents, Article 17-28; Miscellaneous Provisions, Article 29 to 37. Transferable credit Article 38. Assignment of proceeds Article 39. The traders, rather than bankers, should concentrate on these articles, which relate to the opening of letter of credit and to the tender of the documents. A trader regularly being paid or paying through a letter of credit needs, therefore, to familiarize himself thoroughly with the following: Article 4 to 8, 14 to 16, and 1 to 3. These articles set out the basic responsibilities of the bank, which examining documents tendered for payment under letter of credit governed by UCP 600. 17 to 28. These articles set out the specific requirements of the UCP 600 regarding particular types of documents tendered for payment, for example, multimodal transport documents, bill of lading, etc. 29 to 37. These articles set out particular documentary requirements which applies to several type of documents which might be tendered under letter of credit. The new rules have not affected substantive changes in all of these articles. We highlight those parts of these articles where substantive changes has occurred. There are a number of articles in the UCP 600 as there were under UCP 500, which regulates exclusively the relationship between the banks themselves, that is, the rights and responsibilities as between issuing, confirming, and nominated banks. Very useful clarification is given in these articles concerning the rights and obligations of advising, confirming, issuing, and nominated banks. It should be remembered that UCP 600 will be supplemented by ISBP International Standard Banking Practice ICC number 645. This is due to the updating of bring it into the line with UCP 600 and published in March-April 2007. Commentary to UCP 600 drafted by the UCP 600 drafting group is another difference. ICC Banking Commission opinions, many of which, although issued under UCP 400 and 500, will still be relevant. There are as many as 570 opinions, and there is no guidance on how many and, importantly, which ones will still be applicable to UCP 600. UCP 600 versus UCP 500. UCP 600, which comes into effect on July 1st, 2007, incorporates a number of changes from the UCP 500 that was followed by banks for more than a decade till June 2006. These changes include a reduction in the number of articles from 49 to 39, new articles on definitions and interpretations, providing more clarity and precision in the rules, a definitive description of negotiation as purchase of drafts of documents, the replacement of phrase reasonable time for acceptance or refusal of the documents by maximum period of 5 banking days. New provisions allow for the discounting of deferred payment. Credits. Banks can now accept an insurance document that contains reference to any exclusion clause. UCP 600 does not apply by default to letters of credit issued after July 2007. A statement needs to be incorporated into the documentary credit (LC) and preferably also into the sales contract that expressly states it is subject to these rules. UCP 600.